It's showtime, folks. Welcome in. Happy Monday. 102.5, 106.3 The Game. It's Chasing Big Joe. He's Big Joe. I'm Chase McCabe. Dr. Crane, Nick Frazier on the ones and twos. Hope you're having a fantastic start to your day. What's up, JoJo?
What's happening? The headphone fairy once again invaded the studio and took our headphones, but I caught him on the way out.
I don't like it. I think I can't blame Rexroad because I think he's still in Detroit. But
right,
does Robbie just throw him up against the wall? Or?
This headphone fairy was about mid-50s, bald, obnoxious, from up north, covers the Titans.
Oh, so we're blaming Kuharski.
Yeah. So I caught him on the way out. He called me chief, tried to kick me in the groin. I said, hey, we're not having that today. Threw him out. And I said, go listen to the Badlands by Springsteen and know what you're getting into. And that's it. Okay. So,
right,
yeah.
We're off to a feisty start today.
We
I
are.
like that.
We are.
Big sports weekend. You had opening weekend of baseball, which was fun. Vanderbilt baseball is in full swing. The Sound's getting going again. But all eyes were on the team from Knoxville. And they, Friday night, get a tough one against Creighton, but make it to the Elite Eight for only the second time in their history.
Yeah, well done. And so I'll put aside the regular season Rick. I mean,
Look, I said going into this tournament, you get to the Elite Eight and you fall in a tight game to Purdue, I can live with that, and that's exactly what happened. Now, we'll get into that tight game against Purdue because I have some thoughts on that, and I know a lot of you have thoughts on that as well. You can weigh in 615-737-1025. That's our phone and text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. But so I thought it was cool Friday night. I don't know if you saw it on TBS, but so the panel was Candace Parker and Bruce Pearl were on the panel and had a pretty cool moment, just talking about their time together at Tennessee. And Bruce was very proud of the Vols, for getting to the Elite Eight for only the second time. He was the only coach until now to take them to the Elite Eight, as we've discussed. And so they get there, but then they fall to Purdue yesterday. I just got word Zach Edey just drew another foul.
Right. Well, the Bruce Pearl thing Friday night was great because, he led into this Elite Eight in 2010. And I think when Vol fans, when he left, I don't think they were angry at him because the way he left, and remember he lied to the NCAA.
I don't think anybody was angry with him.
They were disappointed in him. And angry and disappointed are two totally different things. When Bruce had to go, they were disappointed. And, 2011, the rumors were circulating. They go to the tournament. Michigan beats them by 90. Tobias Harris was there. His only 1 year at UT. And then, they started the free fall. And then, with Konzo, then Donnie Tyndall, good Lord. And then Rick comes back and takes over in 2015 and first season 2016. But anyway, gets him to the Elite Eight and, in the program. And now you talk about Tennessee is still not like a basketball school. But what they did was fantastic and, had Dalton Connect. I just imagine what this team would have been like had Dalton Connect not transferred to Tennessee.
Yeah, I don't know
right?
if they're in the position they're in.
Yeah. So anyway,
I don't think they're in the position they're in.
Yeah, we could play revisionist history, but the fact is he was there and they led him to a great game. Now, about the game, Chase, you go first because my thoughts were quick. The guy's 7'4", right? Basketball has evolved, where all they do now is shoot 25, 30 footers. I don't think referees, and you get mad at me, refs out there, I love you. I think when you're having to call down low by the basket, which you haven't done in 15, 20 years, it's different. The fact that guy wasn't called for 3 seconds in the lane yesterday is beyond me. The fact he wasn't called for, I tweeted out, he didn't go on walks. He went on journeys. He was taking, he was 8, 9, 15. But you put up a hell of a fight, and that's the way it is.
All right, so here are my thoughts on the game. And I'm going to preface this, and I want everybody to put your ear right next to the radio and listen to this. The referees did not lose you the game. Let's just get that out of the way. Now, do I think they missed some stuff? Absolutely I do. Do I sit there and I wonder, why the hell at times, keyword, key phrase, at times, are you helping the biggest son of a gun out there that doesn't need your help? Because there were times he pushed off that I think you probably could have called an offensive foul, and they didn't.
Oh, yeah.
There were times, though, that the only way they could stop him was by fouling him, and there were some fouls. So again, I'm not blaming the officials. I'm blaming they kept putting the graphic up that says scoring drought. And Tennessee 0 for whatever in the last 3 minutes. They went on several of those. And credit to Purdue for bringing the pressure, but it wasn't that they were bringing a ton of pressure. Like, they just started missing. And the thing I don't understand, and it's somebody that watches them more religiously than I do, maybe you can explain it to me. I don't understand the Rick Barnes system of not driving the basket. To me, fundamental basketball is you win games with your bigs in the post. That it's always been that way for me. Now, you got guys that can shoot, and that's great. And you have your guys out on the perimeter that can shoot, great. But when they, at the end of the game, when they were chasing the game, what were they doing? They were driving the lane, and guess what was happening? They were scoring.
Well, that too.
And they were drawing fouls.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why didn't you do this the whole game? And somebody's going to be like, well, that's not their system, Chase. I'll go, well, the system's broke in this game.
Is that?
That's the I don't know. That's just what happened.
I don't know enough about basketball to know set plays and drive. I do know how to count to 3, and I do know when there's a foul. I do know that much. And again, I know the refs, there's a lot going on, but I go back. This is kind of a weird reference in comparison, but when A.J. Ogilvy was at Vanderbilt in 2009, 10, 11, they couldn't stop him.
Right.
Because he'd get the ball down low. You couldn't stop him. A 5-footer is much easier to make than a 24-footer. And teams don't do that anymore. I mean, they just launch it from 25, 30 feet out. So to play, it's like this. Like a friend of mine told me this yesterday. He said playing Purdue is like playing the triple option in college today. You go 5 weeks playing a team that's, spread, and then you got the triple option. You're like, holy hell, what are we going to do now? What's going to happen? And you're not ready for it. So to have 36 hours to prepare for that offense at Purdue and that gigantic man inside was something else. But you know what? You made it to the Elite Eight. I know it's disappointing to get all the way. I understand that. Alabama made it to the Final Four. That hurts even more. I think that hurts worse for Tennessee fans than Tennessee not making the Final Four.
Yeah.
But anyway, that you did a nice season and you rolled with it, and so congrats. And somebody said, oh, God, what are we going to do next year? What are we going to do next year? I saw a great tweet last night that said, when Peyton Manning left in 1997, we were in the same predicament. Oh, my God, Peyton's gone. What in the world are we going to do? And remember, Vol fans, what happened in 1998?
You won the national championship.
Yep. So never give up hope.
But, no, here's the true thing, though. I saw this, and it was actually pretty cool to see, and you could hear it, too. As soon as the final buzzer happened and Tennessee was eliminated, it was like this switch flipped, and everybody's like, Nico time in Tennessee, let's go, Vol football.
Yeah.
Forget baseball. I forget what they're doing.
Until they get to start winning into the tournament.
Yeah, right. And then it's like, oh, okay, wait, we'll pay attention to them. But, spring practice is coming up or is going on, and the orange and white game, and Nico, and it's like, man, yeah, here we go.
Live it up. That's great. I mean, if you're a Vol fan, now's a good time, and proud of you. I mean, let's get ready for football happening in 5 months, and then it'll be here before we know it.
But I'll say this. I got invested. Like, I've said I'm a Vanderbilt fan. That's where my fandom is, but I like, I want Tennessee to do well.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't hate Tennessee. Some of the fans annoy me sometimes, but, whatever.
But isn't every fan base annoying?
Yeah, pretty much. I don't think Vanderbilt is.
Let me see what Danny Hurley tweeted out this. He goes, people know that our fan base is a bunch of blank talkers, and they hate them.
Yeah.
And then we have to deal with that,
on
the court. It's like, good, so.
But I got invested, and I wanted to see this run. And look, that's a team. You go if all of a sudden they came out today and go, hey, you know what? We're gonna replay this game. Tennessee probably wins, and so it's a 1-1. Like if you played a best of 3 series, who knows how it goes. But Purdue is a better team yesterday. I think right now Purdue. One thing that you had to consider going into this season, Purdue was embarrassed last year.
Last 2 years.
Yeah, but last year especially. They were 1 seed and a 16 beat them.
Yep.
So they were embarrassed.
Yep, they were.
And this is a revenge tour. And I feel like, conventional wisdom will tell me, next Monday night we're going to see Purdue versus UConn. That's probably what it should be at the end of the day. Now, NC State's on this incredible run right now. It can't be stopped, and I love it too. Bama's on a pretty incredible run right now. I mean, hey, Nate Oates is a hell of a coach.
Can you imagine? I mean, do you know so well? Where's the national championship game on? Like local access channel now? Where they put it on? Whatever, TBS,
it's TBS this year,
somewhere. TBS does not want Alabama and NC State. They do not want Alabama, and I hope it's Alabama and NC State just to piss off the other suits in the world.
I mean, but here's the thing: from an excitement, like in a fan base TV standpoint, I don't know if you necessarily want Purdue. I mean, Purdue. I mean, I would say Alabama would drive the needle more than Purdue.
Yeah, basketball wise though, that's a good question, but they don't want that. All right, so we got a couple questions. I got a new question that's popped in my head.
Okay,
and I preface this by saying, not knowing something is ignorance because there's YouTube. But some have said Dalton Knecht is the greatest Tennessee basketball player of all time. I strongly disagree. Now he might be number 2. Because Bernard King was pretty damn good in Knoxville. All right? And you're like, well, I didn't see Bernard King.
But you
can go to YouTube.
You got to know Bernard King.
And you can see everything. I'm going to say he's connects for single. I don't know.
You're going to put him above Allen Houston.
Yeah. For this 1 year. Yeah. Allen Houston's probably 2B. But, I mean, like.
That's a really tough question.
I mean, Dale Ellis was good in Tennessee, but he really blossomed in the NBA where he played like 18 years. And remember when Dale Ellis played at UT, my friends, there was no three-point line. So when he got the NBA, he lit everything up. Chris Lofton was fantastic. Ron Slade was fantastic. Grant Williams was fantastic. But 1 and 1A to me is Bernard King and Dalton Knecht. Remember, Allen Houston never went. I don't think they ever went to the tournament. They were awful. Yeah. They were awful, and that's no slide on Allen. His father was the coach there, but they were terrible. But seeing what Knecht did was amazing. I'm going to go Bernard King and Dalton Knecht. Me.
Okay. I mean, Bernard King, hands down, is still the best. And I didn't see him play either, but I'm very aware of him and what he did.
You go look at it. Doug Roth, probably number
Google
3.
Ernie and Bernie show, and then get back to me.
Yep.
So, that's an interesting one. Real quick, Lenny says on our text line, if you want to foul out a big man, you have to take him, post up on him, shoot him from the outside will give him the ability to rebound. I agree. They weren't posting up. And that's just not the way this team plays. But that, I don't know. Josh in Spring Hill says, Gainey was the best point guard in Orange. Why did Ziegler continue to play starter minutes until he gone 3 of 12 from the field? Gainey was hitting. I agree.
Yeah, he was.
He got hot. So,
but you ride what you got there with, man. And so Ziegler and all them, and Barnes loves Ziegler, says Ziegler changed the program. His DNA changed the program. I don't know. Anyway, you had a nice run to the Elite Eight, and now you sit back and watch. Was it UConn versus NC State? No. Is that right? Yeah.
No, Purdue versus NC State.
Purdue, NC State, UConn, Alabama. There you go.
Yep. Tommy says, I've never seen so many fouls and non-calls in a game in my life. That was pathetic. I'd feel better if the game went the same both ways. It is what it is. I mean, look, you go and look at a lot of the fouls that got called that Edey drew. They were fouls because it's the only way they could stop him.
It was. But here's my thing. When he'd miss a shot and go over their backs, I know he's 7'4", you're still going over the back. You're still doing that. My problem was, I told you, we'll go to the break in a second, 3 seconds and the walking was just unbelievable. How much he was walking was just, I mean, come on. Give the guy a backpack.
Yeah, for sure. But look, if you get UConn and Purdue, that's going to be the cinema that everybody's looking for.
Yep. Also, by the way, I will. Can I now stop pretending to care about basketball until next March?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can go ahead and go ahead. Next Tuesday, fill your bracket out so you have your perfect bracket, and then.
I need to look that up where I am. Let's see. We'll do that after the break.
You can do that. We have a lot to get into today, including the Predators over the weekend. Max Herr is going to join us at 9:30. We'll also have Jonathan Hutton at 10:30, as we do on every Monday. But feel free to participate. We always love that. 615-737-1025. Chasing Big Joe, presented by Regal Realty Group, 102.5-106.3 The Game.
can't help but smile. And it's 2 bare feet on the dance
Chase and Big Joe on this Monday. We are broadcasting from the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville studios, home of the $99 a year Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. Excited to have Busy Bee on with us now as a sponsor here of our studios, and they'll be doing a lot of other things with us as well. So welcome aboard. Always love having new companies on and looking forward to this.
Met Brock Duggar the other day from Busy Bee. Good dude. We're going to do a lot of fun together. So, yeah, man, we're growing. So thank you, Busy Bee, for being part of this awesome team as we go forward.
I love that name, too, Busy Bee.
It is.
Yeah.
It's like
We're a bunch of busy bees.
We
That's
are.
what we are. Dr. Crane is the busiest of the bees.
He is. And Brock with Busy Bee and all, a bunch of bee. Like the Bee Gees.
I'm not no queen bee, but they are the top bee of the
There we
area.
go, Dr. Crane. You're so adorable.
Well, Queen Bee's now owning country music, too. So,
And I love it because I love it when somebody does something that makes people furious. Beyonce's making a lot of country people like, she's not who cares? Just enjoy the music.
Yeah.
I don't care. So if you care, I mean, it's up to you. Look, I got other things to worry about than whether or not Beyonce's releasing a country album. I don't, but you know what? The song's pretty good.
Yeah. The Predators got a few things to worry about after the last 2 games. Really bad losses. Just no other way to put it. Now, they score 4 goals in both of those games, still lose 8-4 to Arizona and then 7-4 to Colorado. And what was interesting, and I know things really changed when Ryan McDonough got the match penalty and was kicked out. And my opinion is I didn't think it was worthy of him getting thrown out. But that's, obviously the way I look at it. Maybe other people look at it differently. But it certainly affected things because after that, the wheels just fell off and they end up losing. So now you got to regroup, come back here tomorrow night against Boston. Ooh. This is an important week, but Boston's a really tough team too. But need to right the ship tomorrow night at Bridgestone.
So I saw none of the game Saturday. 0. I was busy all day long, so I checked Twitter and it said Frosty time for Preds Fest. So I thought they won because the tweet was all exclamation points. I'm like, oh yeah. So I tell somebody at this event, I'm like, how about those Preds? They got back on the winning streak today. He's like, huh? I mean, they Frosty goals.
Yeah.
He's like, they got beat 7-4. Was it 7-4, 8-4?
7-4.
7-4. I was like, oh man. Oh, do I feel terrible. But you know what? I mean, you lost 2. That's all right. There's always that's what I like about hockey. You don't have to wait till next Sunday or Saturday, 7 days in between to get that bad taste out of your mouth. Boston's coming in, and I've told you this before. When those original 6 teams come to town, go to the game.
Yep.
Go see these teams. I know Preds have been here forever. I get all that. But still, to have the Boston Bruins coming into our hometown, something we thought would never happen growing up here, is pretty damn cool. So go tomorrow night.
Well, growing up here, did you even think about the NHL being here?
No. The first term at the NHL was when the Devils in the mid-'90s were
they're going to move
flirting. And it was Municipal Auditorium, and they go, well, the ice is going to be 2 feet shorter on each end and a foot in because the rink isn't big enough. But they're going to do it till the new rink is built. I was like, I wouldn't be bad because I'm going to tell you what, in the late 80s, we all went to National Nights games.
Yeah.
7,000, 8,000 people packed in Municipal Auditorium. So I was like, yeah, it could work. And then, we knew from day one when the Preds got here it would work, and look at it now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I remember that like the whole NFL thing was going on, and then the arena was being built, and they were talking to the NHL and the NBA, and because the Grizzlies weren't in Memphis yet, they were still in Vancouver, or not even around yet. I don't know, but they were talking to the NBA, and it got to the point where who's the NBA team that was going to move here? It was almost done. It was like going to be a close to a done deal that an NBA team was coming here, and then it fell apart at the last minute.
All I remember is Craig Leopold wanted basketball or hockey, and they said hockey is years closer to going to Nashville instead of basketball, and then he went hockey.
Yeah, the NHL wanted to come to Nashville. Yep. And so when the Devils thing fell through, because that was a pretty close deal too. And when it fell through, then the NHL was like, all right, we're going to expand. And so the rest is history. But
I like the
there are a lot of elements of that building that are basketball-centric.
There are, yeah. And so I remember in the late 80s when Richard Fulton, I'm going old school, y'all forgive me, said Nashville needs to host the Olympics. This was in the late 80s. We're like, whatever. Nashville can't.
Where?
Now you can't get from one side of Nashville. This is 1988 to do anything. And then who gets the Olympics in 96?
Atlanta.
And it was like, oh, okay, yeah.
That was really it. You're right. That was the wake-up call.
And that was like, there's something going here. And as quick as they put the stadiums together down in Atlanta for the Olympics and how well ran, I know the incident with the bombing, it was still awful. But they put it together, and we were like, yeah, things can happen here.
Yeah.
Why not? And then it took off.
Well, and it's so we're kind of off on a tangent here, but I went to the soccer game Saturday night at Geodis Park, and I've now been there a couple times. Saw Dr. Crane working, looking good. But it's a beautiful place. It is a beautiful facility, and I'm glad we have it. Now I'm going to, as long as the ownership of the team fights against the racetrack, I'm not going to be very happy about that, but that's another conversation for another day. Geodis Park's a beautiful facility. And I sat there and I go, they're about to build the new Titan Stadium, right? And they're going to build it next to, and I know there was no way this was ever going to happen, but they're about to build it next to the current Nissan Stadium, and it's just going to be a giant pain in the ass for 3 years, right?
Yeah.
Could they not have just bit the bullet and worked a deal with Geodis and had them play over there for 2 years, just like the Chargers did in L.A., played in a 30,000-seat soccer stadium for 2 years until
Not on
the
your
stadium was
life.
built? No, I know it never was going to happen, but would it not have, helped some things? I mean, I know you're cutting your attendance in half, but I don't think that's always a problem. So,
I get your passion there, Chaser, but I just, no, they're – now, who knows? Geodis Park doesn't probably even want them over there.
yeah,
Going
probably
on the
not.
field.
Well, but I mean, again, now I'm going to be nice how I say this, but, the Titans did let you play at their place for a couple of years, so,
Well, remember, that was the whole point of Nissan Stadium was built to accommodate soccer.
It was. It was.
Right. Same company that built Carolina Stadium and built Tampa Bay Stadium built the Titan Stadium. No, and let me tell you what. Geodis Park is beautiful.
It's awesome.
It's beautiful.
And there's going to be even more things that are played there. Like, I'd love to see the high school football championships
Bingo.
go there. Now we were talking, okay, well, they'll probably go to the new Titan Stadium. I'm like, no, I didn't. Go to Geodis. That's 30,000 is all you need.
Yeah.
It's intimate. It'd be perfect for it.
Yep. Yeah, I agree totally. And that'd be fine. They should do that. And, we saw with the Shania Twain concert over there and Guns N' Roses. I mean, it's a multi-purpose facility, but it's beautiful. I mean, you go inside there, you feel like you're in another dimension. I mean,
Yeah.
it's that nice.
It's
of a
easy to
stadium.
navigate, wide concourses. I kind of did a lap and all the local options that they have there, really cool food options. And, went in the team store. The team store is really nice and laid out. So,
Yeah.
there's a lot of things they can do over there. They should be very, very proud. And then, the soccer product, I'm still a little irritated by the game because ties should never happen. And
What do you propose, Chase? Fist fight?
fist fight or, penalty kicks.
Immediate penalty kicks. I'm with Chase.
Okay.
I mean, I'm cool playing. Well, here's the thing. Why don't they play overtime?
It's a great question. That's a great
Like
question.
I could
dare you.
concede. I could concede a little bit on my hatred for ties. If ties should not exist in pro sports. They should not. They really shouldn't exist in any sport.
Right.
But ties should not exist. There should be a winner and a loser. It is very cut and dry with me.
I agree.
Winner and loser.
They should do a 10-minute extra time. If nobody does anything in that 10 minutes, go to penalty kicks.
Well, nobody did anything in the 90 minutes they played, so
Right.
I penalty kicks.
Well, and I'm getting worked up.
Get it.
Hockey figured it out. And look, do I think the shootout is a little gimmicky? Yes, it is a little gimmicky. But guess what it does? It accomplishes a result. And the 3-on-3 overtime a lot of times you don't even get to a shootout anymore.
Right.
So even though the 3-on-3 overtime is kind of gimmicky and I don't love it, it accomplishes something. And it accomplishes their goal.
Yeah, what I like about the 3-on-3 in the shootout, nobody sits. I mean, everybody stands
Yeah.
up. I mean, they're into it, and it feels good. But I'm with you, man. Ties are terrible. I'm glad they finally – I know NFL still got ties, which is just antiquated and stupid. But college football finally came around to it, so no
Yeah.
more ties.
There should not be ties.
No, not at all. Real quick before we go to the break,
It-
I'm going to do our question. Do you want
Well,
to
I was going to finish my point.
Do it.
That's okay.
finish it?
The other thing, that game should have never been a draw because NSC had a 2-1 lead, and as much, Gary Smith, I love you. I have a ton of respect for you. I don't know what you were doing. You pulled Sam Surridge, you pulled other guys, you pulled Godoy, who had a freaking amazing goal with a bicycle kind of Pele kick to score and go up 2-1. They got conservative at the end of that game, and I found myself pissed off, just like a lot of other fans, Nick. And I don't understand what the thinking there was, but ultimately you get the point. But you could have had more.
He elaborated on it in the press conference, but I'm with you, Chase. I think if you have the letters DP next to your name, you need to be playing a full 90, especially if it comes to anything like you need to be playing a full 90, and especially if you're the guy scoring goals.
Yeah, I agree.
Now
you can set up.
If you got a DP next to your name, a full 90 at least.
Designated player.
You're right. I mean,
not Dr. Pepper, designated player.
Not Dr. Pepper, but a real DP, a designated player. And do that. Get it done. All right, I'm proud of you for knowing a lot about soccer, Chase, because I know nothing about soccer.
Do you want to set up the question after Max?
Yes, do that.
Okay. Max Hers is going to join us next. We'll talk more about the Predators with him, chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
All right, friends, listen to me. I want you to say goodbye to all those high medical bills. When you use Medical House Calls, you don't have to worry about hidden fees or surprise charges. Medical House Calls is revolutionizing how patient care is getting done. Patients pay one flat fee no matter the treatment, making Medical House Calls more affordable than the average urgent care and emergency room. And also, you don't have to get up, drive across town, sitting in a waiting room at your doctor's office. Their mobile medical services can come to you. And also, remember, we're kind of winding down the cold and flu season. You can get tested and treated, again, without leaving your home. Those medical services are here to make your health a top priority. Visit medicalhousecalls.com, see what everyone's talking about. In fact, Chuck McDowell loved the treatment he received and the commitment and the care he bought the company. MedicalHouseCalls.com, where their clinic is your home. That's MedicalHouseCalls.com.
Chase and Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3, the game here on this Monday. Everything is going to be all right because Max Hurst joins us now. Nashville Predators pre- and post-game host here on the radio side. Hello, Max. How are you?
Good morning, guys. I'm all right.
Have your ears stopped ringing from the show last night? Saw Max at Fall Out Boy, which was a great concert at Bridgestone Arena last night.
No, they're definitely still clogged. I don't know if that's the right word, but it was a great show, though. Very happy that I got to spend some quality time with you at beautiful Bridgestone Arena.
Yes, no doubt about it. Well, the Predators are back at Bridgestone Arena this week for 2 games, tomorrow night and Thursday night against Boston and St. Louis, but you got to rebound a little bit. Tough last 2, a 8-4 loss to Arizona, a 7-4 loss to Colorado, and I know things really got away from them Saturday after Ryan McDonough was shown the door. What did you think about the penalty and the ultimate result of McDonough given the match penalty and kicked out of the game?
Yeah, I was doing the pre- and post-game show from home, so with the disclaimer that I wasn't there, I usually lean on what Hal says on the radio, and then I get to see it on the TV about 30 seconds later. And Hal thought from the beginning that this was not a major, and then as the major was continuing to be reviewed, he said this might not even be a penalty. It was almost straight shoulder on shoulder. It was the offensive blue line situation. Not sure where exactly McDonough was supposed to pivot to. He definitely didn't initiate head contact. And then I'll call out Jared Stillman for tweeting that he was going to be suspended. That would have been even more ridiculous, and obviously that's not happening. So, yeah, five in a game is tough there. I mean, 5 with no game would have been one thing, but, it put the Preds in a tough spot since Dante Fabro had just come back from injury. You're playing with 5. Somebody's still trying to get their feet under them, and the guy you're missing is arguably your most valuable defensive defenseman, both tangibly and intangibly.
Max Hurst is with us, and look, we know how fans can be sometimes. You go on the ride of the 18-game point streak, and everybody's feeling good and ready to bring the Stanley Cup down Broadway, and then these last 2 games, it's like, oh no, the season's over, everything's falling apart. But what do you think the sense is in the locker room and Andrew Brunette's kind of feeling of after the last 2 games? Yes, you put up 4 goals in each game, but things have gotten away from you pretty quickly and gotten pretty ugly. How do you rebound from that?
Yeah, I'm curious to see today, first of all, if it's an optional practice or a full practice coming up in a couple hours. So we'll see. They haven't really had a full group practice in a long time. There have been a couple morning skates, but after a day off and after 2 bad performances and 2 lopsided regulation losses for the first time in 6 weeks, maybe they will go full group. We'll see. Only 8 games left in the regular season, not a ton of practice time together left, so this could be valuable practice time if they feel like they need it, and Bruno knows the group. He'll know whether or not they do. But I hate to not give you an answer, but I'm also interested in the response because it feels like it's been a year since the last time they lost a game other than those 2 overtime losses, both of which were under unique circumstances. I mean, not only were they overtime losses in the point streak, but the Canadians lost. They started overtime shorthanded and never got the puck back and gave up what was technically a 4-on-4 goal, but it was really a 4-on-3 goal. And then the Wild lost. They pulled their goalie, which I still think was idiotic. And by the way, I told you guys how idiotic I thought it was, and the Wild did it again on Saturday, and it immediately backfired, and the Golden Knights scored into the empty net. So that made me feel better about being the guy who said, wow, that was so stupid, and it worked. So,
talking to Max Hurst. Max, how are you doing, buddy? We okay?
Hi, Joe. I'm great.
It's good to hear your voice again. I hear it on the pre- and post-game show every time the Preds play, and it's fantastic.
I hear yours every day from 9 to 11 on 102.5 The Game.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
You two are just ridiculous.
That's all I got. No, hey, listen, Max, the Bruins rolling here tomorrow night. They have the best away record in the NHL. How much does Andrew Brunette pound that message home, or does he say, look, this team's got 101 points, one of the best teams in hockey, they play well on the road, let's go attack them? What approach do you think he uses tomorrow night?
Yeah, I think probably more the second one. Bruins are currently on a long road trip. I actually don't know if they went home or not after their last game. I would imagine they did since it was Saturday in D.C., but this is their 5th road game in a row, and they had March Madness at their arena last week, which is part of the reason why. They also have a small basketball team that plays in their arena called the Celtics, so they've got some conflicts up there. But, yeah, you're right, Joe. They are really good away from home. They are playing meaningful games right now. They're fighting with the Panthers for not only their division title, but potentially also the number 1 spot in the Eastern Conference headed into the playoffs. So they've got a lot going right now, and they played pretty well last month. They had a couple of losses to other teams in the hunt. They lost to the Lightning last week, lost to the Rangers, who are the only team ahead of them in the East right now. Flyers, Blues beat them, Oilers, other teams fighting for a lot, the Islanders. So they played a ton of meaningful games over the last month. So they're already in playoff mode, just like the Preds are. And the Preds played the Bruins the only other time this season, way back in the 3rd game of the season in Boston. And I thought the Preds played pretty well in that game for the most part. And then the Bruins just kind of overwhelmed them down the stretch, ended up beating us 3-2. So that was a long, long time ago, obviously. But I think because it's been so long and how well the Predators have played recently, that's what makes this another really good measuring stick game against a team with so much established veteran championship pedigree at the top of their lineup and 2 amazing goalies. This is the type of opponent the Predators want to snap back into form against.
You know, it's crazy. Looking at total wins, the Preds are tied with the Bruins.
Yeah. I actually saw some neutral hockey people pointing that out on Twitter recently. I know Chase was just complaining about soccer ties last segment.
Yes, they should go away.
These loser points are out of control. The Bruins have 15 overtime losses, and I don't know. At some point, I guess they'll change this, but the wild card format is the kind of thing that it seems like nobody ever liked, and yet they never change it. And then the overtime points for overtime losses. I mean, Predators, like, we've been celebrating this because we've been celebrating a point streak around here. So, like, we're complicit in it too. But, yeah, it's a different game, and they've changed the tiebreakers up a little bit to reflect that. If there is a tie, the first tie is wins in regulation, and the Preds have 2 more regulation wins than the Bruins, but there's no scenario when the Preds and Bruins will ever tie for anything unless we're, I guess, trying to determine hosting a Stanley Cup final. But the Bruins would have a better seed, so we'll worry about that when that happens.
Who goes in goal tomorrow night, Saros or Lankinen?
I'm going to guess Saros. Don't know that for sure by any means, but I don't think they'd start Lankinen 2 in a row. But both of them had some goals go in against them these last couple games on the road. Certainly not all either of their faults, but bounce back time for Saros, presumably, for both games this homestand.
Max, great stuff as always. We'll see you tomorrow night at Bridgestone.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Max Hers. You can hear him on the pre and the post game show here on the flagship of the Nashville Predators radio network. Max does a fantastic job doing that. Predators and Bruins tomorrow, and Max will have the pregame show starting at 6 o'clock. Tomorrow is also your chance to participate in Preds Pick to Click. If you correctly guess a Preds player that scores in a goal in the Preds game tomorrow night, you win a pair of tickets to an upcoming Preds home game. Participate with Robbie and Rexroad tomorrow morning at 8:45. Pick to Click presented by TJ Anderson Homes of Benchmark Realty. List your home with TJ and get your home seen, heard, and sold. Joe, what is our question of the day?
Thank you, buddy. All right, today's April Fool's Day. Are we done with April Fool's Day jokes? After we went through the past 4 years with COVID and everything and all the everything else around that, are we just done with it? Is it tired? Are we over with it? I know there was we still laugh a little bit at a few things, but are we done with it? Do you fall for any April Fool's Day joke? Do you like it? Do you not like it? We want to hear from you on this April 1st, not April Fool's Day.
I mean, every day is a fool day with you. So.
Flag that, Dr. Craig. That's precious.
Thank you.
Shut up. So we want to know if you're done with April Fool. I mean, I don't fall for anything anymore. We don't.
No, I don't either. 615-737-1025. That's our phone and text line driven by WilsonCountyHoney.com. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
Oh, we are excited about this to welcome Tennessee Men's Clinic to 102.5 The Game. Look, you've put this off for way too long. It's time to get it done and move forward with your sex life. And the Tennessee Men's Clinic is a leader in bedroom confidence. The reality is, my friends, pills often quit working, and guys start making excuses for not going to bed. Did you know that studies show that men will be more irritable and argumentative before bed just to avoid failing at intimacy? Yeah, I know, all men hate going to the doctor, but at the Tennessee Men's Clinic, it was created in 2014 to take care of guys just like us. For a decade, the urologists and providers at the Tennessee Men's Clinic have helped guys with ED and weight loss, and now they even offer aesthetic enhancements and cosmetic procedures. Their ED and weight loss treatments truly change lives, and with no surgery, they're seeing success rates as high as 90%. And listen, they specialize in seeing guys who think they're out of luck regain that hope that they can be successful in the bedroom and beyond. They even offer same or next day appointments. Guys, it's time to feel amazing, hit your goals this year. Stop thinking about it and just get in there. Call 615-208-9090. 615-208-9090 or go online to TennesseeMen'sClinic.com to book an appointment today. TennesseeMen'sClinic.com.
Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3, The Game on this Monday. This is a good song. This
Good
makes me
song?
so better.
It's a great
Kind
song.
of in a mood now, but
Yeah.
I'm going to get better.
It's a Monday, man. It's April 1st,
It is
summertime
it
now.
is. Preds fans, don't miss this Wednesday night. Smashville live at Brewhouse South in Cool Springs at 6 o'clock. See your Preds star players up close and personal, plus get autographs and pictures. Smashville Live is brought to you by the Black Abbey Brewing Company and ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Really excited about our guest this week. It's going to be Jason Arnott and Steve Sullivan.
Really?
No, April Fools. There you go. There's your April Fool's Day joke.
I was like, oh man,
To your point,
oh man,
April Fool's has jumped the shark.
It had. That's a good way to put it. Yes.
It has like, it. You know, I'm good. I'm good with it. If you can pull off a funny like Trevecca last night, that was funny. Like
Tell people what
Jeff
it is.
Fisher. So they kind of. I thought they should have waited till this morning, but like Mike Organ got in on it and everything. It's a picture of Jeff Fisher, and he's wearing a Trevecca football shirt, and he's holding a football, and they have a picture of a Trevecca football helmet.
Badass helmet, though.
A badass helmet.
Yeah.
And it's like, you've been waiting, you've wanted it, it's finally here, and they have a whole press release. And if you read the press release, they have a hoodie that basically says Trevecca football established like 1901 or something like that. And if you read the press release, it then says, why would we ruin an awesome hoodie with an actual football team, April Fools?
And here's my thing, because I worked in news for so many years, and you get all these phone calls on April Fool's Day that you get kind of like, oh God, just stop it, just stop. So that's my perspective on April Fool's. We get all these phone calls in the newsroom, and you're like, just stop it, because they came in fast and furious on this day. You know that. I do have a problem though when a media member, I don't consider us, we're a radio station per se, but a journalist retweets out a fake story.
Yeah.
I
Well,
got-
according to some guy I've never heard of, we're not in Titans media.
Right.
So, you know.
I got a problem with that because I read you. I don't, I'm just weird about that. But with
Sure.
that being said, the April Fool's thing is gone. And after what we went through during COVID and all that nonsense and everything and what's real, what's not real, I'm done. I was just done with it. So,
Now, here's the kind of thing like I'm okay with. So Pete Weber posted, and this was from 3 years ago. I don't know if this was exactly 3 years ago or when this was. April 1st, transactions, baseball. Cleveland Indians signed catcher Jake Taylor, relief pitcher Ricky Vaughn, third baseman Roger Dorn, outfielder Willie Mays Hayes, outfielder Pedro Serrano, starting pitcher Eddie Harris to one-year contracts, named Lou Brown manager. Okay, that's funny.
Yep.
That's Major League. And then it's got some others in baseball. New York Knights sign outfielder Roy Hobbs. Like, there's just things like that. That's okay.
Yeah.
That's not that big of a deal. So, but it's these elaborate ones that just,
yeah, I don't get there. There was a great.
Maybe I've fallen victim to too many of them. Maybe that's what it is.
I don't think I have. I mean, there was a great one in Sports Illustrated in the mid-'80s with Sid Finch, the pitcher for the Mets, that we all felt like, oh, my goodness, he got those 130 miles an hour. And we were like, what in the world? Where'd they find this guy? And it was an elaborate, fantastic April Fool's Day joke back in the mid-'80s. But since then, it hasn't been something of, oh, man, that's great. And, again, my perspective is completely different than you guys because of what I did the last quarter century. So it's just not fun.
Troy on our text line says A and C were going to prank their friend on April Fool's, but they just let her be.
Can we block him?
Yeah, we might have to
Okay.
after that one.
Thank you with that.
2758, absolutely not done with April Fool's Day. Had my kids cursing me under their breath this morning because I told them they had no school because Easter break, excited until they weren't.
Perhaps a better question
That's
would be, what's something that happened in sports that you thought was an April Fool's joke? To me,
Yeah.
and I bring this up every time. I know you get tired of hearing about it, and I don't care. When Dale Murphy got traded to the Phillies in the 90s, I thought that was an April Fool's joke in July. I was like, there's no way Dale Murphy is getting traded to the Phillies. There's no, and it was a thing. That's a better question. What happened that you thought that's an April Fool's joke? It's got to be an April Fool's joke. To me, that was like, oh my goodness, I cannot believe they traded him. And that happened.
Yeah. Well, remember, Jeff Fisher's told us this story. They pulled off one with Channel 5, and Hope Hines was in on it. That they had traded Steve McNair and Eddie George to like Atlanta or something like that.
That's right.
And like Steve and Eddie participated in it, and like
Oh my!
I'll never
How
forget
do you
because
remember that?
Well, because I was with my dad, and my mom calls my dad freaking out because I'm like 12 or 13 at this point, so like I knew that what was real and not, and calls my dad freaking out like, does Chase know like the Titans just traded Steve McNair and Eddie George? And my dad he had already seen it. My dad's like, honey, that was a April Fool's joke. So
I do remember that now. God, that was a long time ago, too.
I
as
mean, that
well.
was like in 2000, 2001,
easily.
somewhere in there.
Yeah, easily.
But when one of the times that Coach has been in here, we talked about that. I mean, that was. But I feel like anymore you can't get away with that stuff just because
I think social media
ruined it. Yeah, social media has ruined a lot of things.
Like, how dare you? And then so that was, another one. This is not to be morbid, but when Kobe Bryant passed away,
yeah,
I was like, this is not
Right.
real. This is an awful joke.
right.
This is dumb. Please don't do this. And then it's one of those things like, oh my goodness. So it could be anything along those lines that, oh man. But as far as pure on this day, I'm good with all that.
Yeah, like look, here's a here's one that just came out. A wrestling account. WrestleMania is in Philadelphia this weekend.
Oh, okay.
So this is WrestleMania week. Sources state WWE is in the process of moving WrestleMania from Lincoln Financial Field to the Wells Fargo Center across the parking lot in Philadelphia. A water main break in the 200 levels has caused multiple bathrooms to malfunction, thus creating an unsafe environment for the fans. For those with 100-level tickets on night one, you will have access to WrestleMania night one at Wells Fargo. The same goes for 200-level tickets on night two. If you're still reading this and haven't caught on yet, I can't help you.
Really?
That's their April Fool's joke.
What account tweet is that? A real?
It's one of these
I was gonna
wrestling
say,
news accounts.
Goodness, man.
That's pretty well done.
Yeah, there's no way that because I'm thinking because some will fall for that. Like, oh my goodness. Here's one prank. For April Fool's Day 2013, 18-year-old Tori Wheeler of Tulsa pranked her boyfriend Derek by pretending she was pregnant. Wheeler, upset that Bauer didn't find her prank as funny as she hoped, ended up pulling a knife on him and tried to stab him.
Oh.
Predictably, Wheeler later said the knife was yet another prank. You don't find my joke funny? Here, let me stab you.
Yeah.
Oh, you
See?
stabbed me. Oh, that's a joke.
Yeah, not so much. Not a joke. Coming up next, I have a Titans thought that popped in my head this morning that I want to get your opinion on. Joseph Dubin.
How appropriate.
Yes, we will do that coming up next. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Hour number 2, Chase and Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3, The Game on this Monday. Hope you're having an awesome start to your day. He's Big Joe Dubin. I'm Chase McCabe. Dr. Cray, Nick Frazier on the ones and twos. It's hard to believe we're in April, which means the draft is at the end of this month.
It's even less than that, right? 24 days?
It's the 25th, right?
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I'm tired of talking about it.
I'm
but,
so tired of talking about it.
But it's what we have to do. So I was listening to Robbie and Rex Road. Fantastic program that you
God,
can hear
is
6
it
to
not?
9 a.m. I mean, it is.
Really is.
Rex Road, I mean, you know, that commercial in some segment sounds like he's in a bunker somewhere, which maybe he is. I don't know. But obviously has been following the Vols, the basketballs, as their dance comes to an end.
Oh, man.
But once again, they were talking about the draft and what do you do with, you know, fixing all the holes that they have. And I believe that this is going to be, you know, an offseason where they've done a lot. They've done a lot more than I thought they were going to be able to do. Now, whether it all works or not, time will tell. But, again, you're going to have some positions that aren't addressed. But I'll ask you this. I know if you get to a point where, you know, if you're relying on guys that hit the market in, you know, July or early August right before training camp, I mean, there's a reason they're being released or,
True.
you know, during training camp. But at the same time, I do feel like you're probably going to be able to grab some upgrades at maybe something like right tackle. Like if there's a position battle and a veteran guy loses out to a younger guy, usually because of the contract, you know, or something like that.
Right.
Could you grab one of those guys and feel better? They kind of did it with Chris Hubbard, you know, last year. They grabbed him.
Yeah.
You know, could you find that and feel it's not fixed,
okay,
but feel better, and knowing that you have Bill Callahan that can kind of help that too?
I say no because off-season workouts for the Titans start next Monday. They've already been at the facility working. I talked to a Titan player this weekend, and they've been working hard at the facility, and everybody's in and doing this and that. So by the time you sign this guy, you're 2 months – you know, he's had 2 months to work with the Petit Frere and the Dylan Radens and guys like that. So I think he's got in his mind, Callahan does, Papa Callahan, has in his mind, like, who's my 5? These are the 5 I'm going to go in. If we get the draft, and we'll plug Alt in there a little bit. But I don't think it's a waste of time because now you're going to have these 8 weeks to work with these guys. You get somebody else in there. What if he's not a good fit? What if Petit Frere's doing really good in these off-season workouts and you don't want to move him? And, you know, you got Radens doing well. Who's the other guy? Brumfeld? Wasn't he the Secretary of Defense, or was that Rumsfeld? Well, anyway, one of those guys. Brunskill. Yeah, thank you.
He's a guard.
Yeah, Brunskill. Brumsfeld. I see what my mind is.
He's a former scout.
Yeah, former scout. So I think he's got in the back of his mind who he wants out there right now to play, and I think bringing anybody else in is just not good. I mean, if there's a guy out there like this guy's fantastic, he's got an attitude problem with the team he's on. Yeah, I get all that, but I think he wants to work with who he's got there.
Oh, if he's got any kind of attitude problem, then they won't do it.
And plug in Joe Alt, and then you are good to go. Yeah, the attitude problem with the franchise goes way back to Randy Moss in 1998 when, he's trouble. Don't draft him. Mm-hmm. He's trouble. And then turns out to be a Hall of Fame receiver.
Yeah, but the other thing, too, is like pass rush. Like you got to address pass rush. You know, Are you going to be able to do that during the draft? Or I mean, there's prime examples of guys that are available or become available. DeAndre Hopkins comes to mind that you get late in the summer. Yeah. So that is one thing to keep in mind. Now, you shouldn't bank on that and make your plans around that. But remember, they signed Jadeveon Clowney, which it turned out not to work as well as they'd hoped. Then he got hurt. But they signed him late in the summer. So they still have cap space to work with.
They got Julio in, late June.
That was after the draft. Yeah, good point. So, you know, you got some cap space to work with. You go through the draft, and then you see – because other teams are going to do the same thing. The other teams might be like, well, we've upgraded for the future in the draft, so maybe we can go ahead and just release this guy, and then all of a sudden, you know, whatever position it may be, whether it's safety – I still think they're going to sign a safety. Like one of these safeties that's still out there – they're going to wait probably, but then the price is going to go down, and they'll probably end up signing one of these guys.
Sure.
So
we'll plug one in the draft too as well and get that. I was the Hopkins thing signing so late because the rumor is when a guy signs late, he doesn't want to go to camp, doesn't want to work. I didn't say anything about that, but he was able to kick some pretty good tell and had a great career or last year for what Hopkins did. But I think I think the last thing Bill or Brian Callahan wants to do is have 94 players play during the season, like Vrabel did. They loved that. They loved like we plugged in 167 guys last year, and look what we did. You don't want that. I mean, you don't. You want to just have not the problem of having to bring guys in, and I know injuries happen, but no, I think the O-line, you plug Alt in there. Don't make this complicated on draft night, Rand. Don't make it complicated. Just take Joe Alt. I don't care how many tickets he won't sell.
If he's there.
Don't do it. If he's there, take him.
If he's there, take him.
Don't take a guy because you think you might sell. If you take a guy because you might sell tickets, you should be fired today. And I don't think Rand's going to do that.
No, I don't either.
He's
but
a lot smarter than that. But I think get your alt and then go and then build, piece by piece. I'm not saying brick by brick. And build your team that way. But there's a lot of things going on. The opening night, 25th, get your tackle, and then after that, go after the other needs that you need. And don't do the old dumb, we're going to take the best player on the board. That is such an archaic way of thinking. If the best player on the board in the second round is a running back, you're going to take a running back after you got Spears and Pollard?
yeah,
No,
you're not.
no. Look, real quick, my fantasy football team was fantastic for like 23 years. I know how to draft players. I know attitudes.
Well, maybe you should.
I know how to bring guys in, and I know you don't triple up on positions. I'm that good of a fantasy football general manager, coach, game day operations that perhaps I should send Rand an email.
You should, because I think you could. Maybe you could assist, and he would like that
You're not paying attention.
very much. I am. No, I'm just. I'm looking at something.
That's okay.
Would you be interested in being an assistant GM for fantasy baseball by chance?
No, I
Okay.
can't
All right,
stand
perfect.
baseball.
Good. My office didn't want you anyways.
No, I'll watch. I watch one baseball player and see how he's doing, and that's it, man. My favorite baseball player he's a Nashville guy, plays for the Vols, Andrew Binky. I'll watch him. I support him. I love his family. Other than that, I can't tell you the starting five, and which is sad because in the 80s and 90s, I knew every team, every player, every manager. I can't tell you two players in the Atlanta Braves. That's sad on me. That's sad.
Right.
That's my fault. It's my fault.
You couldn't tell me two players of the Atlanta Braves
I cannot.
right now.
Freddie Freeman,
He's with the Dodgers.
Acuna,
Sore subject. Thanks for bringing that up. Acuna, yeah, he's still there.
come on now. Kyle Wright's gone.
He's gone. Dansby's gone.
Dansby's gone.
No Vandy guys.
No Vandy guys. I can't, Chaser. I'm not trying to be funny. I can't. I know Sonny Gray's with the Cardinals.
Yeah, he was never with the Braves.
Goodness. I can't tell you more than that. I'm so
It's
sorry.
really upsetting.
Give me a player I would know. Who's first base for the Braves?
Matt Olson, former Nashville Sound.
Matt Olson.
Yep.
Don't know him. Who's second base?
That would be Ozzie Albies.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've heard of him. He broke his ankle?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Yep.
Shortstop.
Orlando Arcia, another former Sound.
Arcia.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What's third base?
That would be Riley. What's his first?
Austin.
Austin Riley.
Is he pretty good?
Yes.
Left field.
He's from Mississippi or Memphis area.
Okay.
Left field is kind of a platoon right now. Adam Duvall.
Okay.
Probably remember him. He's out there.
From Maroon 5.
Yes.
Center field.
Center field is Michael Harris.
He's pretty good. He did something this weekend. He had a home run in Philly, or he caught a ball in Philly that
He
was
caught one, yeah, and he's really fast. Too.
okay. Yeah. All
Yeah.
right. So a little
And
bit
then,
here.
and then Acuna in right.
Acuna in right. Okay. And who's like their ace pitcher?
Uh,
Who's to do with the weird mustache?
Strider, Spencer Strider.
Yeah. All right. I like him. That's a weird mustache. from
Spencer
the
Strider, Matt Freed, Charlie Morton, Chris Sale, and then they kind of have a rotation for the fifth
70s.
guy.
Okay. Oh, Chris Sale used to be for the Red Sox.
Yeah, they just acquired him in the offseason.
Thank you, man. In 2 minutes, I've learned about this baseball that I did
Travis
not know.
Darno currently catching because the other guy got hurt.
Do they have a Paul Ossenmacher on their team?
They do not.
Who's their big reliever that comes in and shuts people down? Steve Bedrosian?
I don't know. I don't know if they have like a big shutdown reliever right now. AJ Mentor's been there for a while. He's a pretty good reliever. He's a late innings kind of the setup guy.
Who's the best reliever in your mind of all time?
All time?
Yeah, all time. Best
Does
reliever.
that include closers?
Closers, yeah. Closers. Sorry.
Probably Mariano Rivera.
That's your favorite?
My favorite was Trevor Hoffman, but because Hell's Bells was just awesome. Awesome entrance. But, I mean, I would say Mo is probably the best of all time.
I'm going to go Gene Garber.
Okay.
Late 70s Braves. Had the weird delivery that he went down.
I mean, Wohlers, I loved Wohlers back in the day.
Yeah, he was good. Who gave up the home run to Jim Leyritz? Was that Woilers?
I don't
Woilers
remember.
in the 96 World Series?
Do the Brave? Your buddy says, do the Braves still have Claudel Washington?
I'm telling you, man, that's why, the Nashville Cats made the announcement. They're going to go, their game's going to be on 4.2 on Channel 4, whatever.
Yeah.
I think it's fantastic to do that because, as we talked earlier, the Braves on TBS, the Cubs on WGN growing up, I got to know all these guys and every other team. That started my true love for baseball because you would see Cubs in the afternoon, Braves at night, and you'd fall in love. That's why I fell in love with Dale Murphy. I mean, the 84, 85, 86, 87 Braves teams were awful. Dale Murphy played every game like he would never play again. And it was just, I had just like, this guy's fantastic. So you fall in love with players, but because I saw, Hannibal Lecter says it's well done, really well. We covet what we see every day, right?
True.
So we see Braves and Cubs every day. I just fell in love with it. I consider, and I know Willie can do this too, like the 84 Cubs that won the National League East, I could do the whole lineup.
Yeah.
We saw them every day. It was amazing. So to see those guys, and now it's like you got to go search it, you got to go find it. It was there in front of your face, and you enjoyed it.
I used to be able to, like in the late 90s, I could tell you that Braves lineup. Like Chipper always was cleanup.
Yeah.
Or actually third. Yeah, so he was third, and you had when McCann got here, he was cleanup. You had Andrew Jones was cleanup for a while. Brian Jordan was after him.
When did Teixeira come on the scene?
So Teixeira was like 2007.
Oh, that late. Okay.
Yeah, and so in like that one, you had I forgot who led off. Kelly Johnson was playing second. He was usually batting second, somewhere in there. Then Chipper, then Teixeira, McCann. They brought him in. Andrew was still on the team at that point. So, and then you had Freddie. Freddie would bat after Chipper a lot of times.
Okay.
Before Chipper retired.
That's pretty good. All right, so I got a tease for you.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you the greatest Braves transaction of all time that backfired on them, but the reason they did it was brilliant. The Braves did this. Was in the 80s.
I can think of a few.
Braves
Okay.
did this.
All right.
It was a brilliant transaction. It backfired on them. Wasn't their fault, but what they did was the same thing the greatest coach in NFL history started doing after this. That's your tease.
Tune in to the game all week is our NCAA tournament coverage and updates brought to you by Toyota. Ready, set, go. Get your Toyota today at Toyota.com. It's Chase and Big Joe on this Monday, presented by Regal Realty Group, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. All right, ESPN Bet is ready to take you through all the huge sports moments this spring. The exclusive sportsbook of ESPN has it all, including offers and promotions from Scott Van Pelt and Stephen A. Smith. From the playoff intensity to getting on the links and out to the ballpark, there is no better time to be a sports fan. And I've had fun with it. ESPN Bet all weekend, whether it's basketball or the start of baseball, it doesn't matter. It's right there, and it's so easy to use. You can jump on it right now. New users get $100 in bonus bets for making any sportsbook bet. Download ESPN Bet today. What a play! You must be 21 years or older and in Tennessee. For problem gambling support, call or text the Tennessee Red Line at 800-889-9789. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game here on this Monday. 0911 on our phone and text line, driven by WilsonCountyHoney.com. Tell Joe Dubin it's starting 9, not starting 5. I don't even know what they're talking about.
I don't either.
Was that baseball?
Yeah, when Joe referred, I can't even tell like a starting 5 is what he said.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, starting 5 pitcher. Your rotation, you have
Yeah.
5 pitchers.
I think they misinterpreted that. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's his number again?
0911.
I'll be sending him a strongly
Yeah, well, that's fine. You know, everybody's quick to point out you're wrong.
word.
It's okay. Thanks for
stern
the
email.
message.
Yeah. All right. So Chase, here we go.
Okay.
So Wes Welker used to destroy, when he played for the Dolphins, would destroy the Patriots, right? I mean, they couldn't stop him. So what does Bill Belichick do?
Signs him.
Signs him, gets him. So in the 80s, there was a player for the Cincinnati Reds named Nick Asaski. He played 4 years with the Reds. He played 6 years with the Reds. He destroyed the Braves. Destroyed them. So in 89, he gets traded to the Red Sox. Has a career year, does everything. So he's on the free agent market. He's going to come back to the National League. Braves say, not so fast. We need you. So the Braves get Asaski. They sign him in November of 1989, 3-year, $5.7 million contract. A lot of money at the time.
That is a lot at that
1990 season, right? So they get him. Like, he's not going to beat us. He destroyed us at Fulton County Stadium. We got him. He's young. He's good. He feels good. Asaski comes back. He gets vertigo, an inner ear infection, and he was never the same. He played 9 games in 1990, batted 170, missed the entire 91 season, and was released by the Braves in 92. So with that being said, you go out and you find guys who destroy your team. You sign them. Sometimes it works like Welker. Sometimes it doesn't work like Nick Asaski. But what it is, it's warfare in sports leagues. You know, you want to go out and find somebody who's going to take care of you, who's not going to destroy you when you play him, and hopefully can be almost as good as he was when he's taking your team down. We talk about the Braves and everything that went on. It was kind of like the Braves' luck back then. It's like, hey, we got this guy. He's going to be good. We're going to pair him with Murphy. But then they trade Murphy that year. Asaski doesn't do any good. And I get it. I had a texter to me. If they didn't trade Murphy, there would have never been David Justice. I get that. In 91, of course, the Braves roll to the World Series with the great pitching staff and everybody that goes on that team. And they do that. It's just the way that sometimes you can't predict what you get and what you bring in. That's why, you know, when the Titans get the draft into the month, I mean, you hear Joe Walt's going to be great, but you won't know he's great until you see him on the field. Tony Mandrich is another guy in the late 80s. Michigan State guy, huge, steroids, awful starting out, got kicked out of the league, came back, had a nice little second career with the Colts. He did all that, but you just never can tell. And unfortunately, you're tied to whoever you get with these guys you draft, these big free agent signings you get. So we'll judge Rand Carthon by what he's done these first 2 seasons with Will Levis and now who he gets this year and the free agent pickup. This is the nature of the business.
So, you know what, one of the other, you talk about Braves and like great moves that they've made or whatever. How about 1981 when they fired Bobby Cox?
Right.
You remember that?
I do remember that.
So this is what's great. They finished 4th in the division. Cox was undone by the 1981 baseball strike when the Braves finished 5th and owner Ted Turner fired him. Asked at a press conference who was on his short list for manager, Turner replied, quote, "It would be Bobby Cox if I hadn't just fired him. We need someone like him around here." And you know who they hired?
Joe Torre.
It was Joe Torre. And then Joe Torre Bobby came back as the general manager after managing the Blue Jays and eventually put himself back in as manager, and the rest is history.
Yeah, and won the World Series in 95.
95.
Did he replace Chuck Tanner? Because Chuck Tanner was a manager for the Pirates in 79. The Chuck Tanner came in mid-80s. Maybe Joe, I need to look this up.
Yeah, I don't know. He fired Russ Nixon.
Russ Nixon.
That's who he fired. And then he hired John Schuerholz from Kansas City to come be the GM. That was the move. Bringing in Schuerholz, Bobby back on the field, and Schuerholz in the front office. That was the move.
Okay, that was pretty good. I mean, you got Maddox to come there, and then you had Glavine, you had Smoltz, you had Steve Avery.
Yeah.
I mean, they were fantastic, and that's we'd gone so long, and I say we because I was a huge Braves fan back then, but in the mid-'80s, I mean, there was really, there were a few people cheering for the Cubs and the Reds, but a lot of Braves fans still here to this day, and that's what happened. I'm trying to think of the time when Ted Turner made himself manager for a couple of games. It might have been like in 77. Oh,
Probably.
he went 0-1. 1977, he fired Dave Bristol, and Ted Turner managed one game. He went 0-1. If you were an owner, would you go down and manage?
And then he hired Bobby Cox.
Then he hired Vern Benson, then Dave Bristol, and then the next year he hired Bobby Cox.
Okay.
Correct.
Because Cox replaced Dave Bristol.
Yep.
So
Who was the manager after Bobby Cox when he retired in 2010?
that was Freddie Gonzalez.
Look at you, Chaser. Well
And
done.
then he
man.
got fired, and they put Brian Snicker in to finish the year, and the players loved him so much they kept him on, and turned out to be a really good move.
That's how you doing. Can I play a little game with you real quick before we go?
Sure.
I want you to see how many NFL head coaches you can name.
Current ones?
Current ones.
Okay, so I'm not cheating. I need to look at the teams.
That's fine.
Like just a list of the teams.
Okay.
If that's okay.
Buffalo Bills.
That is Sean McDermott.
Miami Dolphins.
That is my guy, McDaniel.
Right?
Mike McDaniel.
Patriots.
It's the guy from UT. Mayo. Gerard Mayo.
Jets.
I know that he was with 49ers, the defensive coordinator.
It's so tough.
Robert Saleh.
Attaboy. Ravens.
That is Harbaugh, John Harbaugh.
Cincinnati Bengals.
That is Zach Taylor.
Browns.
Stefanski.
Attaboy. Steelers.
Mike Tomlin.
Texans.
That is former player. I'm blanking on. I hate this game. Like I absolutely hate this game because I know the answer, but I get
tough,
nervous.
is it not?
Linebacker.
Linebacker from Alabama.
Yeah, I know. Help me, Nick. What's his name? Texans head coach.
Oh, D'Amico Ryans.
Thank you.
There you go. Colts.
Colts is. I forgot his name. He was the old coordinator for
Zac Efron.
Zach.
The Jaguars.
That is. Can we stop this game?
Okay.
That is
Colts with Shane Steichen.
Shane Steichen,
Shane
and then
Steichen.
this is won the Super Bowl with the Eagles and
Doug Peterson.
Doug
All right,
Peterson.
we'll stop it there. But it's
I hate these games.
But
'Cause,
it's-
They put you on the spot. Yeah.
Right, and I know the answers,
Right.
but like that's what like I wanted to look at like if I can look at the list of the teams, it helps. But it's
Well, that's
just
the
like,
thing. We get so far inside the bubble that it's
Ugh.
kind of like, oh, who's this and who's that? And these coaches change. And I go back to mention earlier, like in the 80s and 90s, I mean, I knew every NBA roster, every NBA coach, every major league. It was just a different time. But so much now has infiltrated your life that you're like, oh, my, this is going on, that's going on. And these coaches just move around left and right all the time. I don't think I could name half of them. And I do sports talk for a living.
Yeah.
I mean, I know the Titans, Vandy Vols, MTS. I mean, I get all that. But sometimes it's like, man, I mean, if I put a gun to your head and say, all right, Chaser, right now, who's the head coach of New Orleans Saints? See?
Mike Ditka. No, he's the former Raiders coach. He was
Oh, Dennis Allen.
Dennis Allen.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
So,
I will say to Chase's point, I do feel like this every single day we do celebrity birthdays. If I see a picture of the person that it's their birthday,
Yes.
more than likely I'm going to get that very close to their age without seeing who it is. It's a tough call.
I agree.
The fun one for me that I can do is Daytona 500 winners or NASCAR Cup Series champions.
Oh, this would be
Ricky
fun.
and I did that at a bar one day. It was pretty fun.
How far Daytona 500 can you go back?
I think I went into the 80s. Yeah.
We should do that coming up.
Champions I can do to 1980 with 1980 to now with champions, I'm pretty sure.
What about Daytona? Let's do if we have Hutton, we'll do after that Daytona 500.
Okay.
All right,
All
I
right.
like this.
This
All
is
right.
great.
Yeah, now I'm nervous again. Hey, score big this spring with Lee Company and the Nashville Predators in the $10,000 Power Play giveaway. Enter for a chance to win a Kohler home generator or $10,000 towards Lee Company Home Services. That's right, a Kohler home generator or $10,000 towards Lee Company Home Services. Just go online to leecompany.com/giveaway to enter. leecompany.com/giveaway It's the $10,000 Power Play giveaway. Contest entries are accepted until Saturday, April 20th. Lee Company, all you need.
Bring life to frozen ground. Something so strong could carry us away.
Great song, Crowded House, bringing us back. Chasing Big Joe on this Monday, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Joe, do you have colorful clothing like Kim Mulkey?
I do. Yes.
think
I
you
do.
could pull it off.
Her rant on the New York Times, and now I guess
The Washington. It was the Washington Post, and,
Washington
and
Post, sorry.
the quote unquote hit piece was not even close.
And then the LA Times put something out. They had to retract it because,
Yeah,
and I nobody cares about my thoughts, but to go after her is just. We laugh about her. I mean, because she's
Sure.
annoying and all that. But I would never do a hit piece when I don't know all the pieces.
Right.
And if you go back and listen to her about how was it New York Post or Washington Post? One of the posts, whatever,
Washington.
was like demanding that she answer these questions, and then she went off on them. So good for her, man.
Yeah.
All right. So before the break, Chase McCabe said he could do this. This would be a nice little segment. He could do this. He said he could name all Daytona 500 winners going back to 1980. I find this simply fascinating. So
We'll
Chase,
see how good I can do.
do you want to start current or go back to 1980?
Start in 1980.
Okay.
Buddy Baker.
Let me get there, punk. Buddy Baker, 1981.
81. Richard Petty.
Correct. 82.
Bobby Allison.
83.
Cale Yarborough.
84.
Cale Yarborough.
85.
Bill Elliott.
86.
Man, who is 86? Oh, Bill Elliott.
Incorrect.
No, he's 85. Dang it. I was on such a roll, too.
Oh, we give you one. Jeff Bodine.
Oh, see, I always forget him.
87?
Now I'm off my. There's yelling back there that's throwing me off. Like,
87?
Five's Elliott and Jeff Bodine. That's also Bill Elliott.
Attaboy.
Yeah.
88.
That is Bobby Allison.
89.
That is Darrell Waltrip.
This next year, my favorite driver of all time, 1990.
Earnhardt should have won it, but it was Derek Cope.
Attaboy. 91.
91. Damn.
I haven't heard this name in a long time. First of all, language. 91.
All right, 92's Dave Allison. 91. Crap, I don't remember.
Ernie Irvin.
Swervin. All right. Swervin.
92.
Davey Allison.
93.
Starlin.
Incorrect.
Oh, no. He's in 93. Oh, Dale Jarrett.
Attaboy.
Dale and Dale show.
94.
Starlin.
95.
Starlin.
96.
Dale Jarrett.
97.
Jeff Gordon.
98.
Dale Earnhardt.
99.
Jeff Gordon.
2000.
Dale Jarrett.
2001.
Michael Waltrip.
2002.
Ward Button.
2003.
Michael Waltrip.
2004.
Dale Jr.
2005.
That is Gordon?
Jeff Gordon.
Yep.
2006.
Jimmy Johnson.
2007.
Kevin Harvick.
2008. He had an awful crash at Daytona one year.
2008?
Not
Oh, Ryan Newman.
yeah.
Yeah.
What year did he have that crash?
That was a few years ago.
Okay. 2009.
2009 Newman, Kurt Busch.
Incorrect.
No.
2009.
All
Driving a Ford Festiva.
Because Bane's the next year.
Nope.
Is this Bane?
2009. It's not Bane.
Oh, Bane's 11. Kenseth. Matt
Attaboy.
Kenseth. Yeah.
2010.
2010 is you got
it, buddy. Look for a friend.
yes.
All right. Jamie McMurray.
Yeah, I forget about that one.
2011.
Trevor Bane.
2012.
Kenseth.
2013.
Jimmy.
2014.
That would be Dale Jr.
Yeah. Now, these are the ones I think are the toughest because the
Yeah.
most recent ones
Yeah.
that we forget. 15.
Logano.
16.
Denny Hamlin.
17.
Nice. I can't remember if that was Denny's back-to-back or I'm going to say Hamlin.
It's not.
Okay. 17. Oh.
Come on, buddy.
All right. Denny in 2016. 17 was... I don't remember.
Kurt Busch.
Okay, that was Kurtz.
18.
That was Hamlin.
Austin Dillon.
Austin Dillon.
19.
Right. Hamlin.
20.
Hamlin.
21.
21.
Never heard of this guy in my life. I think he used to play for the Doobie Brothers.
Michael McDowell.
Yep. 22. Never heard of this guy ever.
Austin Cindric.
Is he still racing?
Yeah.
Okay.
He drives for Roger Penske.
23.
Stenhouse.
Yep. 24.
Byron.
Attaboy. That's tough, man.
It is tough. Thank you.
How about 90% rate right there? Well done. I couldn't have gotten any of those guys. I know that Earnhardt won in 98 and Waltrip won in 01, unfortunately, because
Yep.
of what happened in 01.
That was
Yep.
impressive. To sit behind the glass and just watch this unfold, that was very impressive.
Why do you go back to 80? Why not 79? You had Eli Gold the other day.
So I'll tell you why. Earnhardt's rookie year was 80.
Okay.
So 79 was probably Yarborough.
I 79 was Richard Petty.
It was Petty. Okay.
I love this. These cars but crack me up. So 80,
78 was Bobby Allison.
they won, and Petty won in 79 in an Oldsmobile Cutlass.
Yeah.
77, Cale Yarborough won in a Chevrolet Chevelle Laguna.
Yep.
David Pearson in 76 won in a Mercury Cyclone. I love this.
They used to have more like, well, I mean, it was still like Ford and GM and all that, but they had like, you had guys run Buick and they'd run Pontiac.
Well, in 74, Richard Petty won in a Dodge Magnum Charger.
Yep.
I just think this is fascinating. 71, Petty won in a Plymouth Roadrunner.
Yep.
These are great. The first Daytona 500 ever
Fireball
won.
Roberts.
Lee Petty
won
in an Oldsmobile Super 88. I mean, these are cars my grandpa had.
Fireball was the first champion, I think.
Was he?
I think so.
Overall champion?
Yeah, I think so.
NASCAR points, whatever they did back then?
Mm-hmm. You want me to do that next?
Did he win Daytona? What year did he win Daytona?
Fireball?
Yep. Driving a Pontiac Catalina. God, I love
61.
this. 62, not bad. He beat out Marvin Panch to do
Marvin
that.
Panch. That son of a gun.
These are all cars that my grandpa had.
Yeah.
A Ford Fairlane. Could you imagine racing a Ford Fairlane in a Daytona 500?
Well, that's back in the day when there was something stock about a stock car.
Oh.
Now
all
there's
the same
nothing
now.
stock about a stock car.
Was
does
the
that
Cutlass with the T-tops involved here?
Could be.
I'm just curious.
And smells like your dad's cigarettes from growing up. What's I'm ignorant about racing. What made a stock car a stock car?
Because they would actually take the street car and turn it into a race car,
Oh, okay.
which they haven't done in a very long time.
They should. So let me ask you this: every car the same a Daytona 500?
Now?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
So you went on talent or knocking somebody out of the way.
Well, with this new car, what they refer to as the next gen car, you do have to drive it. Like the other cars, like that's why you've kind of seen guys that were really good in the other car not be as good in this car, because you have to drive it. Like it puts more in the driver's hands.
What is that again? Yeah, I thought you have to drive the car anyway.
Well, so like Chase Elliott, for instance, he was dominating early in his career and won a championship with the old car. He's gotten to the new car, and he's like a top 15 driver.
Okay. This is a whole nother discussion for another day.
Yeah, but I mean, you got guys like Denny Hamlin, for instance. Like everybody was talking about the race at Bristol and like the tires wearing out. Well, Denny Hamlin won the race because he knows how to take care of his tires and drive the car.
Oh, okay.
He won last night because he's good on restarts and at short tracks.
Okay.
So-
And we've talked about this, and people are like, what? NASCAR is as popular now as it's been in a long time. I mean, the ratings are out the roof. People watch. People get invested in all this. The race will be here in 2.5 months. Chase, you're the PA man, right? Still doing that, the race? Yeah.
I am. Al says, tell Chase I can name all of the years in order from 1980 and only miss 10 or so. Ha.
Who said that?
Al.
Oh, that's great.
It's pretty good.
I read that again. But we're gonna.
I could name all the years in order from 1980 and only miss 10 or so. Ha.
Oh, you give it a valiant. You named all more than I 1990.
I got
Derek
nervous.
Cope.
I got nervous.
What do you get nervous for?
I just get nervous.
Aren't you still taking hymns?
No.
Okay, I didn't know. I know you're their premier spokesperson, so I didn't know. All right, what's next, Bubba?
Almost done. We get to celebrity birthdays, and what day is it? That's next. Chasing Big Joe here on this Monday. And again, we're broadcasting from the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville studios. Excited to have them on board. Home of the $99 year Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. Chasing Big Joe here on this Monday, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Hutton was tied up with some other things, so we'll try and catch up with him maybe later this week.
When U2 comes here and plays for the Preds, they got to play it. This #1
Yeah.
song they play.
Hey, go to thegamenashville.com/bracket challenge and fill out your 4-team bracket to compete to win prizes, including, Joe, I know you're excited about this,
Yes,
tickets to see Creed at Ascend Amphitheater on August 13th. 102.5 The Game bracket challenge is presented by ESPN Bet Sportsbook, Twin Peaks, and Volunteer Hose and Gasket. Are we ready to
Yeah, I'm
find
ready.
out what day it
Yeah,
is?
I'm
and
ready.
Celebrity birthdays.
All right, gentlemen, we have here for celebrity birthdays. And what day is it? Poetry and Creative Mind Day. That's the first one. We have Sweet Potato Day. Love me some sweet potatoes.
I'm not a fan of sweet potatoes.
Really?
No.
Might need to give it a second shout.
I've given it like a second and a third, and I'm just not,
Okay.
not a fan.
U.S. Air Force Academy Day. There you go.
Yeah.
We also have Sorry Charlie Day.
That's
what
okay.
else we have here? You won't believe this, Chase. Let me try to shout a little bit. National Soylent Green Day.
Yes.
I am
Are
not-
you serious?
I'm not making this up.
Thank goodness. Yes, this is the best day ever. Soylent Green is so good. If you're not getting Soylent Green in your body, it's a great resource of fiber.
Unbelievable. It's unbelievable how this is happening. Next one is
Please don't leave me alone with him.
Next one is National Tomfoolery Day.
Yeah, that's
Well,
what
here
this
we
show
go.
is every day.
Let's see. Next one we have here. There are a lot of them, but I'm just gonna get some that are really good here. National Sourdough Bread Day. You ever had a sourdough bread
have.
cheese, a grilled cheese?
Yeah, I love sourdough bread.
Pretty solid.
Can't go wrong there.
Not at all. Other one we have here is National Egg Salad Sandwich Day. Those.
I'm not a huge fan of egg salad, but I don't hate it.
I like egg salad. Just don't be in the room with me afterwards.
Oh, okay.
What?
The last one we have here is International Fun at Work Day.
That's every day.
Every day.
Yeah. As with that, Big
Today's
Jeff?
Soylent Green Day.
Oh, my
That
God.
made my day.
He's not
Jason,
gonna
what are
get
you doing
over
for
it.
lunch? I got a great spot.
I'm tied up.
All right, time for celebrity birthdays. Remember, you got to get it within 2. If you get it straight on, you get 2 points. Celebrity birthdays.
By the
brought to you
way, go ahead. Sorry.
no, go ahead.
I was going to say that a loyal listener of this show and friend of the show, Phil, has disputed my record-breaking performance last week because of the rule change.
Okay.
And I told him that his opinion doesn't matter, but I just wanted to pass that along.
All right. Well, it does matter.
And it's brought to you by
possibly you.
email us together at cromwellmedia.com.
First birthday. She was Nick Cate's girlfriend in 48 Hours. Annette O'Toole. She was also in Superman. Annette O'Toole. Jack Cates. I'm sorry. Jack Cates.
She was in the 78 Superman?
The original Superman. When he's running by the train.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to say 67.
73.
72. Annette O'Toole. Good job. Jack Cates. By the way, 48 Hours.
Good
best
movie.
movies of all time. It's going down here, too. What else we got here today? Singer Bijou Phillips. Fun fact, never heard of her.
I've never heard of her either.
But today's
So-
her birthday.
That's I'm going to say 47.
I don't know. Maybe 84.
44. So
Dang,
close.
that was close.
Right. You were really close. DCA graduate from Lady Antebellum, Hillary Scott, who lives here in town.
Also a Blue Raider.
That's also a Blue Raider.
40.
36.
Oh, she's 38. That's a push. Well done, girls.
Thanks. So she's my age.
She is your age.
Or 38. Yeah, so a little over. Yeah.
Reggae singer Jimmy Cliff.
Not to be confused with Cliff that falls asleep. Jimmy Cliff. I don't know who that is. 68.
77.
76. Dr. Crane, 2-0. Actor Ally McGraw. She was in The Love Story with Ryan O'Neal.
I don't know that one.
No relation to Tim McGraw.
52.
58.
85.
Okay.
Singer Susan Boyle. Remember she went on British American Idol and won, and
Oh, yeah.
they all
yeah,
made
yeah,
fun
yeah.
of her, and
Yeah,
she's got
I
a
didn't
beautiful
make fun of her.
voice.
Yeah. I know you're
Susan Boyle.
55.
62.
63. Dr. Crane just peppering the outside right there. Well done. MSNBC host Rachel Maddow.
Where'd the music go?
Did Dr. Crane get
Where'd the music go?
Dr. Crane got raptured? Oh,
It's
he's
just
back.
on rotation. And sorry, but
Rachel Maddow.
57.
Rachel. 43.
51. And one more to end this nonsense out. Pro wrestler Randy Orton. Chaser, come on.
44.
I'm going to go 41.
44. Chaser
Oh.
tries at the buzzer but falls short 3-2.
Wait a minute. It was right on the money. 2
Yeah,
points.
he got 2, but you had 3.
Oh, okay.
So you win 3-2. Well done.
Congratulations.
man. Well done. Hey, as we leave the show on Mondays, we know Mondays can be tough for some of our guys out there. If you're struggling to talk to somebody, we said every show, please call 988 on your cell phone. Somebody's always there to talk to you. Before you do anything, please call somebody. You can reach out to us. As we tell you every show, our world is a better place because you are here. You are tremendously loved, and please know that if you need help, reach out.
Amen to that. Peace, love, and rock and roll. Caroline, Willie, and D-Mace coming up next. 102.5, 106.3, The Game.